Going live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing, or better said, playing Pragmata on Steam Deck thanks to Capcom for providing a code of the game the day of release, but I was actually moving to an apartment, and I moved, here I am, finally back in business. I can finally play stuff that I had on the pipeline. I played Mouse PI for Hire, High on Life 2, I'll basically give it a shot as well. But I'm catching up, basically. How are you guys doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you hear me correctly? I'm actually, there's no Ethernet cable to my main PC. So I'm on Wi-Fi. So let's hope everything goes well. This is more of a test stream as well. Keep cast shadows on, yeah, as usual. Latest version of SteamOS, that's on beta. I always stay on stable for most people. And CatchyOS, that's more of a custom thing. Usually, people on the Steam Deck just install the stable version. So yeah. Hey, Pally, I'm doing fine. What about you guys? It's been a while. What's with the slow mode? Oh, sorry. I have it by default, and I forgot to turn it off. My bad. Sorry, guys. There it goes. Slow mode is off. So, Pragmata, verified, day one. I want to thank, by the way, Benchmark King for providing a save for this game. 5 hours in, I have a lot of places, and well, he's a big one for this channel. So thank you so much to Benchmark King for providing the save. It really helps quite a bit, especially to see the demanding scenarios. This live stream will be recorded to make the final video for this. So you guys are here for the ride. Mouse PI and Pragmata based. Agreed. It's a Mouse PI for Hire is awesome. I've been playing it on my desktop PC and on the Steam Deck. So this one is verified. Nothing really to say here. Performs well on Steam Deck. Interface is legible. Yada yada yada. RE engine. So let's launch it right away. I'm using a controller that I got sent over. Actually, it arrived today from 8BitDo. I'm going to review it and also show it off later. But it's an Ultimate 2 wireless controller. It has a dock and everything. It looks awesome. It just arrived, so perfect excuse to test it out. Hopefully it's good. Will be checking out replays in the future? I want to, I didn't have time. But I've been playing the demo and man, blow my mind. It's awesome. So yeah, definitely. Okay. The first time that I launched the game, which was only to see that the save file really applied, I actually let the shaders compile. So there's a shader compilation phase that is like 2 minutes on Steam Deck. So on that front, it's fine. We're using default settings now. Right away, I can tell you the upscaler is probably FSR. It doesn't look right. I mean, just look at Diana. Jesus Christ. Pixels. Yeah, the upscaler is not great so far. Aside from Monster Hunter Wilds and Dragon's Dogma 2, Capcom games generally run well, right? Yeah. As a Linux user, feels good to know the game runs out of the box. Yeah, I mean, it didn't have to do anything. Let's see graphics, what happens. Okay, 720. There's 800p as well, but I don't think it uses the entire screen. Let's keep it as default for now. VSync, let's turn it off. SteamOS already does that. There we go, FSR 1. So you got FSR 1 off or FSR 3. Let's keep it on FSR 1 and I'll change it later just to check performance. GI on low, balanced upscaling. Dynamic resolution, we're not using that. We might try it. Hair low, medium, or high. Wow, the medium hair looks amazing. That's crazy. We might try it later. Texture quality lowest. Understandable. Texture filtering, this I'm increasing it. Never breaks anything. Mesh quality low, medium, high, or max. Shadow quality lowest, low, medium. Okay, it only seems to affect resolution. That's good. Shadow cache, we keep it on, just because it always helps. Contact shadows, let's keep it off. Effects, low is fine. Video quality 4K, Full HD is fine for the smaller screen. Ambient occlusion off, that's interesting. You can turn off volumetrics, bloom, screen space reflections, subsurface scattering, which usually doesn't have a big hit. So let's enable that one. Ugh, chromatic aberration. Yuck. Depth of field, only for cutscenes. I wish they could put this only for cutscenes. But that's basically it. There's also ray tracing, path tracing. Let's ignore that for now. Imagine the Steam Deck running path tracing. Maybe one day. Who knows? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. So, I have this save from Benchmark King. Let's first get familiar with the controls. I want to make a new game. It even runs Doom: The Dark Ages. Well, that's ray tracing, so you're right. Good point. No problem. More pixels. Yeah, Steam Deck 2 is probably going to be fine. Okay, we skip everything as usual. Nothing against the game, it's just the way we do things. I forgot to check if there was frame gen. Ooh. Okay. The edges are rough AF. That's my first impression. Edges, very rough. It's clearly FSR1. But performance is pretty high so far. Let's see. Do we have frame gen? No, it's off. Okay, that's good to know. Many things require us to go back to the main menu, which also sucks. So let's see. If with FSR1 balance we get 94% GPU at 60 frames. Now we get 98%. Okay, I get why it's cheaper to do. Whoa, what the hell? It also changed the shadows? I'm confused. But it affects performance. But the image quality, man. How much do you think the Steam machine will cost? With the RAM prices, probably... I don't know, man. It's going to be expensive. Probably 1,000, maybe 900. Okay, we got a screenshot there. Let me check FSR1 once again. Not a fan of FSR1. It looks horrible. Oof. It's hard to see in a still image. I'm going to show you anyway. But let's see. Like it. Yeah, in motion is way worse. I mean, just look at this, it breaks. But the performance difference, we lose 7 frames. But again, look at the difference in image quality. It's ridiculously better. There's no reason to use FSR1 apart from the performance increase, but this is disgusting on FSR1. I'm pretty sure you can tell which one is which, right? It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but it does a way better job. I can even read the text. Love A. Yeah, there's no reason to use FSR1, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Valve carried us for a long while now. Yeah. So instead of the defaults, I'm going to do some changes. First of all, let me see if I can use the entire screen. No, still 16 by 10. So 720, that's fine. RE Engine games do that, unfortunately. Let's use, first of all, FSR3. That gives us a hit of 7 frames, give or take. Balanced. Let's try contact shadows. Instead of 57, we get 56 to 57. Ambient occlusion, yes please. Yeah, basically the same. Volumetric lighting, I don't personally care in this in this case. Bloom should hit performance a bit. It did in Requiem, so I'm not going to use it, no big deal. Reflections, there's probably a lot of them, and they're probably distracting. Lens flare, personal preference. Lens distortion, no thanks. And depth of field, I think with... If it was only for cutscenes, I'll keep it on. But it's not. Okay. So. Default settings plus FSR3 balanced plus SSAO plus reflections on. So far, this is what I would do. If I'm not missing anything, global illumination, we don't need to touch it. Dynamic resolution, we might try it later. And there's frame gen within the game. Hopefully it doesn't crash. But I'm going to try it later. Hair quality, maybe I can crank it up a bit, but I need to go back to the main menu. And texture quality, we are at the edge on VRAM. We're not in an open area yet. And shadow quality on lowest, I think is okay. So yeah. This is basically what I do in Resident Evil games. You wouldn't even use FSR3 unless I had to. Well, in this case, it seems to be worth it. Of course, we're not getting 60s, but even with FSR1, we don't get 60s. I wouldn't push the VRAM further, though.
Not gonna lie. Kinda digging the view.
It still looks horrible with FSR3.
First time to the cradle, right?
Upscaling turned off regains visibility. Yeah. Yeah, no, even FSR3 looks hilariously bad. 50 FPS versus, of course, at native. Ooh, it looks so much better on native. Holy hell. Still not perfect, but the performance hit is there. But the visuals improve significantly. There's also film grain that I cannot turn off. That's insane. FSR3 looks horrible as well. Not as bad as FSR1, but that's not difficult to... that is difficult to surpass. If I put max 60, do I get dynamic res? I'm not sure what dynamic res is doing. Usually it doesn't work. I don't get how FSR DLSS works. Why it's an option of PC and not consoles. On consoles, I think they're using FSR1, actually. Let's see, what about 50? Okay, 50% resolution maybe? Oof. No, this looks bad. I wish they had an 80% option. But they don't. Either 150 or 150. We'll have to use FSR3 or native. Let's start with native and see what happens. Native res. Oof. 100. Let's see what happens. Shadow cache on, context shadows on, anti-aliasing FXAA, TAA, ambient SSAO, everything else off. I'm aiming for 30 FPS.
Yo, you. Check out that big rig.
I mean, if we're targeting 30s, it might be fine.
Talking about that 3D printer? Sorry, not my thing.
Maybe the reflections, I have to let them go.
Fill us in. I'll leave this.
But if we're targeting 30s, should be okay.
No stairs?
Hey, Louis Kratos, how's it going? So games have it on consoles, but it's never really an option. Yeah. Also, Benchmark King said that lowest textures had a bug. Let me check super quick that video. Because the low texture option was actually bugged. By the way, the video that I'm checking out. Nice to be here. Happy to have you. Why does Star Wars Outlaws and Avatar run so badly on deck while Assassin's Creed doesn't? Different engines. Okay. Texture quality, medium or lowest if the game stutters. Okay, then lowest is fine. Low was broken. Gotcha. A 5090 to a Steam Deck. Why not? By the way, my dog is playing in the background. That's why the toy noises. I think screen space reflections can leave, actually. They're pretty distracting so far. And yeah, we get a decent performance increase. It looks pretty good like this. Actually, native is surprisingly performant. Of course, we're indoors. But it's looking pretty good. Also, I haven't played the demo for this game. This is my first time actually engaging with the game itself.
Mess.
Not exactly a popular hangout, is it?
Pretty good. Also, we have shadows from this. What I did notice looking online, if you don't turn on path tracing, many places don't have accurate lighting
What's Rubble doing here?
under some objects, which I found weird,
We're gonna need
even
some
with ray tracing on. Steam Deck 2 will have 4090 performance with DLSS 6. Is this review going on your YouTube channel after that live? You have the VOD, which is the entire stream, and this will be trimmed down to a video of around 10 minutes. So I'm doing research actually. Textures on the face are pretty low res, but again, we're playing at the lowest texture quality. Okay, LT aim, RT fire. 0 damage. If this game can maintain 40s or something like that with some tweaks, I wouldn't be mad.
Oh, come on. Damn it.
The kid!
Hey, get behind me. Move. Hey, you need to...
I think I can help.
Cool.
Bypassing first and second firewall.
The hair isn't bad even at the lowest, although I think medium makes more sense.
Interrupt matrix. Visualization complete.
Cute.
Initiating hack.
Okay.
What the heck was that?
There's no time to explain. Shoot out.
It's not that hard.
Dude,
I hacked it.
what?
Cool.
Not human? Tell me what's going on here.
It actually feels pretty good.
AI.
It was pretty natural. Just
We got bigger
X,
problems.
Y, B, and A to move in that hacking menu. Sometimes a handheld has a dedicated slot. I mean, if you have an extra USB-C, while it's plugged in, you can plug in a graphics card maybe.
Captain?
Should we all get married or wait for GTA 6? GTA 6 first. If it's too expensive, at least you can buy it,
How am
right?
I supposed to do that?
Although the film grain is freaking distracting. There's quite a bit of film grain. Like in Requiem, you cannot turn it off.
Locked.
I can open it.
It's pretty aggressive.
Got it.
Okay.
Suit integrity compromised.
Yeah, GTA 6 goes first. Okay. Yeah, so far so good. Although there will be an open New York section.
Suit life support systems fully restored. Initiating unlock.
But so far it's interesting. That mix of shooting and hacking at the same time. I wish it was 16 by 10 using the entire screen. You probably need a RE framework.
You hacking again?
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to hack.
No. Why would I?
Is Pragmata any good? Is the gameplay as captivating as RE series? It's very different to the RE series. But you definitely have that dual, how to say, dual interactability thing. While you're aiming, you can shoot, but you can hack at the right of the screen at the same time, but it's pretty easy to hack. It's just moving a cursor with A, B, X, Y, and A. A, B, X, and Y. So here, A, B, B. And you can shoot at the same time. I wonder how many more things we'll have later. And you also have a stamina bar at the bottom for when you're dodging. So you technically have 3 things going on at the same time. I dig that. Is there any way to play games at an ultra-wide aspect ratio in the deck? I mean, if you put a custom resolution in the game's properties, you can choose an ultra-wide resolution, and it'll show up in the menu. It's basically that simulator. It's a mix of Death Stranding, Resident Evil, and Dead Space. That's great. If that's the case, that's amazing. My only issue with Death Stranding is that I get bored. I guess it's not a game for me. One Pragmata and one adult male detected.
Welcome to the emergency shelter.
Welcome to the shelter.
Reactivating the
That space. Good one.
Automatic repair. That's convenient.
License level 0. Reactivating primary functions.
Okay. There's even... yeah, there's cube maps as well. I don't miss the screen space reflections then. She's floating in the air though. That's alright.
Alright.
But again, this is native resolution. It's not even upscaled. I think it's time to just grab the save now. Before that though, 40, 50, something. Let's try the hair. Because if we're targeting native, I might as well enable better hair. I wish Death Stranding to run better. Same. More like Dead Space babysitter in a modern setting. Yeah, Death Stranding 2 shouldn't be verified. This one seems to have a better chance of being verified. In my brain, at least. Shadows, I think it was fine. What I would increase is the hair. The hair... I mean... Again, we're playing on a Steam Deck. But if we're targeting quality of the resolution first, I think this is a better idea. But the default settings are clearly Capcom trying to get us into the 40s. Which is fine. I don't mind. Sorry, into the 60s. But it doesn't stay there. Hey, BZ Warrior. How's it going? What do you think of the PlayStation DRM debacle? I think it's stupid. What Sony is doing. Okay, yeah, it does have an interesting hit. Yeah, 5 frames less. But the hair looks significantly better. What do you guys think? Do you care? The hair is significantly better on medium. I cannot change it without going to the main menu, unfortunately. Excited for RE9 expansion? Yeah, me too. Okay. Let's get to the title screen and load our friend's benchmarking save. You feel like the hair looks too good compared to the rest of the game? That's a good way to put it, actually. That's a good point. Haven't thought about it. Let me check it here. Because you can change it and the hair is there. Hair quality medium, 51 FPS. On low, ooh, we got 10 frames more. It's quite a big hit. I think I'll keep it on low, actually. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it's significantly better on medium. You just turned in and haven't seen much of gameplay, but this is some that good performance on Steam Deck. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, especially considering this is native res. You finished Pragmata yesterday. It's a gut puncher that ended messing you up. Dang it. Okay, okay, no spoilers. Please. I mean, it's expected though, that that's going to happen. Printer. Firmware updater. How do I... oh, I guess she is for travel. Give present or talk. No, I want to travel. Probably here.
Our start.
Oh no, these are trainings.
Recently improved.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
Come and see us again.
Yeah, minutia will be interesting. I completely forgot about it as well. Okay, there we go. Ride the tram. The Radome mass production array. Okay, mass production array is basically New York. Yeah, Capcom is on fire. I wish a minutia, I hope it's good. Considering it's the RE engine, they don't seem to have super big maps. But who knows? At this point, could be anything. After Monster Hunter Wilds, Capcom knew that the RE engine is not suited for open world games. Yeah, it's better for linear games. And not everything needs to be open world. Let's be honest here. Okay. Open location. Looks good. Oof. The stuttering. The VRAM usage. The RAM is maxed out. But we're at native resolution. Remember that. But it looks good. What bothers me is that the anti-aliasing is not great. But we do have cube maps, so I don't miss screen space reflections on Steam Deck. But again, this is native. I would lock it to 30 with these settings. Yeah, it's overrated. Quality over quantity. Completely agree. So, settings for 30 FPS. Again, my opinion. 720, because 800p doesn't get full screen. You can lock it here or in the Steam Deck menu. Probably here is better latency. No upscaling, keep it on 100%, which is native. Dynamic rest doesn't seem to work. Frame gen, I haven't tried it yet. Then the rest on default, with some exceptions like contact shadows, ambient occlusion, and all this. Screen space reflections, I don't think is a big deal to not have it. We have a lot of cube maps over there. And this, if you like it, use it, but personally I'm not a big fan because it's during gameplay as well. But the default settings are pretty good. The only issue with the default settings is that it's FSR 1. And it looks horrible with FSR 1. Yeah, I mean, TAA in this game is sharper than most games, I agree on that. But it still has a lot of breakup on the edges. Yeah, for the open areas you can do tinkering later. I usually like to do one and leave it alone. But this is running unexpectedly good. Whoa. There are some stutters here and there though. I wonder if I can respawn the enemies, because everything is dead. Although this is not an open map. It's a bigger map, but it's not open. Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue here is lowest texture quality and FSR 1. Oh, there you go. There's an enemy over there. Proton laser. Okay. Yeah, I think 30 FPS makes more sense here. Let's see it. Ooh, dodge. Okay, while I'm hacking him, I'm shooting him. I feel like I'm losing brain cells, but it's working. Okay, now we're talking. Let's see with the city in the background. Oops. It's actually faring pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you can also increase the hair quality, but I think in this case it's a little bit too much of a hit. I mean, it doesn't look bad with normal hair. I know medium hair looks significantly better, but still. Yeah, this is running way better than I expected. I mean, native resolution in 2026? What is this? We have those stuttering issues here and there. Not sure what is going on there. Maybe because we're super memory limited. I mean, we have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and we're using 10 on system and 5 on VRAM. So we're basically maxed out when it comes to it. I think those stutters are due to the VRAM. Yeah, I agree. Especially RE engine uses a lot of memory. Yeah, even with effects close to the camera, they seem to be good. But the gameplay is actually feeling pretty good. Hit me. Overdrive. Yeah, stutters are bad. But it happens when traversing from one part to the other. Doesn't seem to be that often. I would still lock it to 30 with this configuration for more battery life. Let's see, overdrive. I wear borderline 30 sometimes. But it's feeling pretty good. If this has the Nuvo, it might also be the reason. Yeah, the thing is, the Nuvo does decrease CPU performance. And, well, stuttering, I noticed that even in RE Village. I remember making a video when that happened, comparing the pirate version versus the Steam version. It was pretty funny. But in this case, it seems to be more memory limited than anything. Because we're basically using all the available RAM. Again, pretty common in RE engine stuff. Uses lots of memory. Yeah, but even with effects on screen, it's okay. Again, considering it's native, this is pretty damn good. And it doesn't feel bad at 30 FPS. What did the patches do to remote play? What? I don't get it. What happened? Are you going to test Black Flag Resynced? Obviously, it's one of my favorite games, the original Black Flag. So I'm not missing that one. Okay, let's see. So for these settings, I think a 30 FPS lock makes more sense. So let's see it. 30 FPS lock inside the game. Let's see if it behaves well or if it has issues. So in game 30 FPS cap. Pretty similar to Village. Sorry, to Requiem. Not the best frame pacing, but this will help with battery life. And of course, across the entire game, it should be hard locked to 30. Instead of just being at 30 here, then inside the base at 50, then 40, then 30, then 60. Steam client update improve remote play to Steam Deck. Oh, I see. Also, is there quality options as well? Because I usually recommend Moonlight, but not sure if Steam improved that. How do I go back? Okay, the map isn't that large. Interesting. But with a 30 FPS cap, it seems to be under control. I do not like the FSR1 thing being default. Does the game look like a mess on the absolute lowest? On the absolute lowest, you don't have ambient occlusion. The hair doesn't look amazing. This is not the absolute lowest, but the absolute lowest doesn't really help much. What really does help a lot is to use upscaling, like in most games nowadays. Let's try this again. Are there larger maps? There's a part with a jungle. Let me see if I have it. Some of the loading screens though have very small text, so I'm not sure about the verified stuff there. Text is very small. Okay. So we have the mines, the dome. Okay, the dome does have foliage. That's what I care about. Let's go to the lab. That should do it. By the way, do the larger maps fit this place that I'm showing you? Or I didn't unlock them yet. Okay, it's been night and day so far. You would fail over your mesh network in the same room, remote play to deck. Awesome. I have to try it. I use that feature a lot, but with Moonlight. If it's by default, that's awesome. Just connect to my PC and not mess around with settings. Okay. This part, you can notice that there's no real-time shadows. Not sure if it's because they are on the lowest. But this part looks very flat. Kinda crazy. I wonder if it's ray tracing related. But that makes me suspect that this area is bigger than the others. Are you excited for the World Cup by any chance? I'm not a fan of football, personally. Yeah, we call it football, not soccer. But in my country, we are super mega fans. So I follow them with their excitement sometimes. But to me, it's not a big deal. Uruguay really loves football. I guess I'm one of the least Uruguayan people in the world, despite being Uruguayan. Because I don't care about football, personally,
I'm not hiding. It's just
and I speak
my suit
English,
works better with my
which
visor
most
with
people don't like doing.
sensors, safety and all that. Besides,
And I also like living in Uruguay, which most Uruguayans don't like.
So why do you open it sometimes?
variety is the
The
spice
lowest
of
and
life.
low shadow settings disable a lot of dynamic shadows, you believe? Okay. We might put it on medium to try it. Maybe... Yeah, maybe medium is a bit too much. Yeah, I can even see the missing shadows here. But again, we're targeting 30s on a Steam Deck at native. At the end of the day, it's still pretty impressive. What bothers me is that for... Here we have shadows. What bothers me is that most of the settings, you need to go back to the main menu to try them. That freaking sucks. What is this, 2006? I think it looks fine like this, though. Which country are you? Oh, I'm in Uruguay.
Don't you hear?
Between Argentina
Sure.
and Brazil.
Not like I'm the only one.
Then what's
You're
your
allowed to be
favorite?
at one of the stadiums for a match. The atmosphere there is insane. Well,
Gotta go with brownies.
in here, when you go
With some
to
ice
a
cream on
football
top.
match, that I've been to multiple of them, in the
Got
stadium,
a little whipped cream and
the energy is amazing.
getting hungry.
You feel like $1,000,000 leaving the stadium. That's one of the great things. That's one thing that I like about football. You can feel it. Oof. These ones are stronger. I cannot do two things at once so far. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so far so good like this. Personally, I do not mind some places with missing shadows, because there's still shadows here and there. I thought you were from Spain. Well, I get that a lot, because my grandparents are Spanish.
Be careful.
Most of my family is directly Spanish. So I kind of look like I'm from Spain. Because literally my genes are... I mean, my grandparents were Spanish. They came here to avoid one of those civil wars. That's why I'm here, actually. So yeah, I do have family in Spain. Basically, the Spanish, Portuguese, and others in Europe came to my country, killed all the locals, and most people here look European. It's hilarious. Do you think Concord colossal failure make companies scared of doing live service? I hope so. Would be nice. Not sure if it will be a learning experience or the opposite. Oof.
Leave it to me.
Go.
Let's do this.
Get ready. I got him.
Oof. Just in the nick of time. Hi, Uruguayan primo. I'm from Argentina. Hey there. How's it going, man? Yeah, in Argentina, they're basically our brothers. Uruguay is basically Argentina's Canada. Oh, of course, hacking.
Check.
Produce 2 atoms, never to be seen again. Yeah, I mean, the failure of Concord makes me happy, actually. How the hell did they spend 300 million or something like that on that game? Something doesn't add up. But okay, we're good. I would say this is the 30 FPS configuration. Let's do something to get into the 40s or something like that. 400 million, still a lot of money. Too much money. Make 50 Expedition 33s, please. The weirdness of the game works in masking some of the flaws with respect to performance. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so personally, I'll play this for the best graphics possible. 30 FPS, native resolution. I'm surprised to say this in 2026, but hey, here we are. And everything like this. Textures don't go any higher. We're already borderline 16 GB of VRAM, 16 GB of RAM usage. Shadow quality, you could increase it technically. I wouldn't do it, but if you want to try it, try on low. More than that, I think doesn't make a lot of sense. Then all this, I'd rather keep it on low. Ambient occlusion, enable it. Volumetrics, I'm not a fan. Screen space reflections, there's a lot of cube maps in this game, so I don't think you need this necessarily, and you get a big FPS boost, like 5 frames more. That will be my 30 FPS target. Let's try to go higher. Without frame gen, then we use frame gen. Will it test Metal Gear Volume 2? Obviously. How does 50% image quality play like? It looks horrible with 50%. I mean, it's like using FSR 1. I mean, that's 50%. And native looks something like this. I mean, the difference is pretty obvious, I'd say. I wish they had, again, like, maybe increments of 10%. Why 100 and then 50? Makes no sense to me. Then you got FSR 1 that looks horrible. To not say another word. FSR 1 is by default. I mean, it's not as bad as 50% because it's a higher pixel count, but it doesn't look great, especially in motion. Then FSR 3, it's okay. This is kind of what I would recommend if you're trying to get a higher frame rate. It looks significantly better than FSR 1. It's still not perfect, but it's way better than FSR 1. So for FSR 3 balance, we're targeting a higher frame rate. So I'll keep it the same settings as I showed you, but with upscaling. There's not much else that we can do. So this will be FSR 3 balanced. By the way, by default, Capcom chose FSR 1. I don't know why. And let's keep the frame rate variable. Let's see how much we can get away with. FSR 3 quality in shelter. Do you notice it shimmers like crazy? Yeah, it does. I mean, FSR 3 shimmers like crazy in this game in general. And also we have forced film grain. That doesn't go away easily. I mean, yeah, in the shelter you can notice. Although the frame rate is much higher. By the way, FSR 1 runs better as well. There's a lot of shimmering, but on the smaller screen it's less obvious. Let's see the city once again. Let's see if it can hold 40s. Whoa, that's stutter. Usual. The freaking usual. There we go. Let's see what Keanu is saying. I have never understood textures in RE Engine games. They look pretty much the same to me. In this game, I think I don't think it's the texture quality necessarily. I think it's the texture pool, the amount of memory you can allocate to textures. If that number's too high, it'll still show them, but it'll stutter like crazy. But some textures that have text in them are completely impossible to read. Okay. Borderline 40. At least here without combat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think 40s consistently will be possible. Next time we see Lisa Su on stage, we should be for FSR 5 enabled. Yeah, probably. It's going to be some frame generated BS, probably. Let's see, combat. Yeah, I mean, when combat happens, we're actually CPU bound here. We're not fully utilizing the GPU. Ooh, close to a perfect dodge. Yeah, we're definitely a bit CPU limited. That's why it drops, at least in this area. Oops. But the guns are pretty interesting. Going for the nut shot? Yeah. Never fails. People were saying Crimson Desert was the game of the year. Now I didn't hear a single thing about that game. You're talking about Crimson Desert? I mean, I played it a little bit. I didn't have a lot of time. But so far it's interesting. They've been patching it like crazy. I mean, just imagine when a live service game or an MMO gets patched, that is huge patches very quickly. They're doing that on a single player game. That blew my freaking mind. So many improvements so quickly. That's commendable. I gotta give him credit for that. Was better before. Team Deck OLED is king. Yeah. Hell yeah. Cannot wait for Steam Deck 2 OLED. Okay, so in this map, so far, it's dropping into the 30s, mostly due to CPU, it seems. We seem to be pushing the limits of the Steam Deck. I'm not sure why Capcom thought it was a good idea to put FSR 1 on balance. Let's see it super quick. If FSR 1 fixes that. No, it doesn't. See, FSR 1 is better GPU-wise, but on the CPU side, it doesn't do anything. So Capcom by default put something like this, but we're still CPU limited here, again, in this particular map. Let's see if that still happens on the other places. Because FSR 1 looks bad. Yeah, Crimson Desert, I didn't like the controls either. I was like, what the hell is going on? I had to remap some keys. Although Crimson Desert has been in development for a long time. I've been seeing teasers for that game for what, 6 years? Maybe more? Although respectful having their own engine. I'm not doing that BS. Well, that BS. Or not doing UE5. You hate the release now, patch later, Norm? Yeah. It's been happening for more than a decade. It's not new, unfortunately. But on Crimson Desert, at least, again, I'll give them credit that they do it very quickly. Yeah, I hate UE5 as well. I mean, poorly utilized UE5. When it's used well, you can get good stuff. Let's see, the plant maps. The Terradome. And I was here in the lab. Which lab? This one. You need every 5 or 6 remakes? No, I mean, I like those games. RE6, I think is too bloated, but the gameplay in RE6 is pretty good. Very good mobility, very good combat. RE5 is just an action game. That's kind of the problem with it. Terradome platform is the most GPU intensive part. Okay, thanks for the heads up. They are an MMO developer though, making a single player game. Yeah. Yeah, they had to QA the font size. That's hilarious. So you were saying Terradome platform. Was that in my list? I haven't checked it. I read your chat after choosing the location. Imagine if Ubisoft does a Valhalla remake. Oh, Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft, I think, is going to get... If they get the Black Flag resync thing right, they'll get a lot of karma points. I'm pretty sure. The thing is, they're using the latest engine, so it's going to be pretty demanding in comparison to the original. Although, on the CPU side, it's probably going to be pretty light,
My suit works better
because the
with
logic of
proximity
the game
gates,
seems to be the same.
Sensors, safety, and all that. Besides, when I'm shooting, I can focus way better with it shut.
So why do you open
It's
it
the first area in this level, basically when you arrive to this area. Okay, gotcha.
Brakes
Thanks for
are
the heads up.
important too.
So far, this area is fine. Let's go where he said, where RGIS Online said. Terradome entrance, I'm here. Terradome platform. I'm guessing it's this. You worry that if Black Flag ends up being a success, they will just keep doing remake after remake instead of new things. I mean, at least if they're good remakes, I don't really mind, because Ubisoft has been doing new things for a while, and it has been pretty bad. Skull and Bones, the new Assassin's Creed games, while they look good visually, I'm not a big fan, and the new thing was doing the RPG route. So yeah, I don't know. I'd rather they do focus on remakes, on things that work, and then later on, learning from those remakes, do something new. That's my opinion, of course. Okay, it seems that New York is the CPU limited part. Is down below? Okay, thanks for the heads up. There's a beach. Although it's fake. I was like, why is there a fake dome there? And then it's an actual fake dome. That's hilarious. GG. There's a cracked glass that you can go through? Gotcha. Oh, you mean in the beach? Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I mean, considering... Again, we're playing this on a Steam Deck. GG. It's insane how well the Steam Deck plays modern AAA games, some of them. Down below there is a cracked glass. Oh, okay, gotcha. Thanks for the heads up. Oh, that's an enemy, hold up. Or is it? You know what? I'll just go back to the tram. What do you recommend more, PRAGMATA or mouse PI for hire? They're very different. Very different. Personally, so far, the thing is I played already mouse PI for hire for a few hours. This is still new for me. Mouse PI for hire has more hours of gameplay, I think. But they're completely different games. The other one is more like a linear shooter. This is more of, like people were saying, a mix of Resident Evil with Dead Space and Death Stranding. It's a completely different experience. And the gameplay, I mean, you have way more axes of gameplay, if that's a word. Hold up, let me go to the entrance. Terradome platform, was it? Let me read. Terradome platform. There you go. Okay, so as I was saying, this has way more layers on the gameplay. You have the hacking while you're shooting, while you have to control that dodge bar at the bottom, the stamina. So yeah, it's a different game. The other one is more like, okay, dodge, shoot in first person, more like a traditional shooter with linear levels. Well, parts that open up later on. Okay, this part is definitely more GPU bound. Thanks for the heads up, Mr. RG is online. Oh, okay, I get why. That makes a lot of sense. What Borderline 4 is there? Whoa. Yeah, but we're definitely very heavily memory limited. People waiting for GTA 6, you're waiting for Kojima moment on the Game Awards this December. Man, I agree. I want to know what he's up to. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, there are parts where it just streams something in and the memory cannot take it. Although I forgot to restart the game. That's something important. Because I changed a lot of settings. But again, we're memory limited. There's no way around it. But this is what I was saying. You have the hacking at the right while you're shooting, then the hacking gets locked because X, Y, and Z. And you use A, X, B, and Y to move in that small menu. It's like a mini game within a shooter game. And at the bottom you have the dodging. So you have to manage stamina as well. It's an interesting mix.
Overdrive protocol initiated.
I wish we could have a new Metal Gear, although Kojima is going to make something that for the PS6 at this point. It's very far away. Hopefully he survives until the game is done.
Ew. Why do you hide your face?
I'm not hiding. It's just my suit works better with my visor.
I wonder how many Steam Deck games won't even launch because of graphics.
Besides, when I'm shooting,
I mean, there's a few of them, mostly UE5. I wonder why.
Variety is the spice of life, Diana.
Breaks are important.
There you go. Here's the cracked glass. GG. It was this way. I gotcha. You love God of War 2018, but Ragnarok's writing was so bad. I mean, there was some weird stuff there. I won't get into spoilers. I enjoyed Ragnarok a lot for the gameplay. It really expanded on 2018. But I agree, the story in Ragnarok is like, what the hell is this? I mean, it was okay, it was serviceable, but for God of War, serviceable shouldn't be a metric. It should be amazing. They've been making games for a while. Do you think games should have a budget of $300 million and take 6 years to make? No. Unless it's a good game, but that's a difficult thing to do. How do you know this is going to be good? There's so many people involved. Okay, yeah, when traversing it drops there. Okay, let's restart the game. Just because I changed a lot of settings and I forgot to restart. But so far it's running way better than I expected. GG. You feel like Horizon Hunters Gathering would be a good Steam Deck game because of the art style? Yeah. Yeah. Are you using the official Steam Deck dock? No. I'm using the a JSAUX red dock that was like $30, $40. Very basic, doesn't have VRR. It has 3 USBs. It's super basic to plug into the monitor. I also have a dock from BenQ that they sent over for review a while ago. I think it was called the GR4, that did have all the bells and whistles. And by all bells and whistles, I mean super high-speed connections. It had HDMI 2.1, but the dock that I use for the Steam Deck videos is the most basic one. It's basically 3 USBs, an HDMI, and a USB-C charging cable. And the controller I'm using is the Ultimate. Hang on, it's the. I received it today and I'm super excited. Is the 8-bit Dell Ultimate 2 wireless controller. They sent it for review and I'll show it off later. It has a dock, it's amazing. They also sent the version that doesn't have a dock. And that one, I really like the colors. Okay. Do I have it? Yeah, it's here. This is the other one that they sent. It doesn't have a dock, but it does have those sensors for the sticks that don't drift. GG. Why were the white Steam Decks limited? It's not hard to make them. I mean, they can sell it. It's like statues, like collector's editions in video games. It's like, okay, we make a few of them so they sell out. I would love to have that creamy colored Steam Deck, although it will get dirty very quickly. What are your thoughts on the state of PC ports right now? Right now, as long as it's not UE5, it's pretty good. I'm actually surprised. Also, this year we've been getting a lot of amazing games. So far, I mean, at least on Capcom's side, it's doing pretty good. Okay, so let's see if we still get those stutters. The memory is already basically maxed out. Yeah, there are still stutters here and there. Let's see, this was the point where it dropped before, here. Okay, it didn't this time. So definitely the restart did help because I changed a lot of settings. If you move the camera quickly though, it can drop, but I think locking it to 40 makes a lot of sense. If you don't mind the FSR3 that is a blocky mess pretty often. What is your favorite controller of all time? The 360 controller, definitely. Unfortunately, the sensor broke. I still have a... Well, actually, I bought a 360 refurbished like 3 months ago. So I have a 360 controller. I just changed some of the sticks and plastics because the controller was super old. But I cannot plug it into my PC. I need to buy one of those sensors. Then the other one that I really like is the PS5 controller. It fits perfectly in my hand, has a great grip, and it has gyro. That's why I like the PS5 controller over the Xbox Series controller. Usually my problem with the PS4 and PS3 controllers is that my hands are very big. So it feels tiny in my hands. That's what she said. Dynamic rest at 30. I tried it, it didn't do anything. I don't know if that option is working or not. But it didn't seem to do anything. But I think a 40 FPS cap makes a lot of sense. It's a balance of visuals and performance, at least when it comes to
I'm not hiding. It's
the
just
resolution.
my suit works better with my visor and
The thing is, when you go through a door or something, there's clearly a loading
when I'm shooting,
happening.
I can focus way
That
better
spikes the
with
usage
So why do you open it sometimes?
of the memory,
variety is the
and we
spice
don't have a
of
lot of
life.
memory to work with.
Breaks are important.
Is there a game where dynamic resolution is good? Titanfall 2 has a fantastic dynamic resolution implementation. It came out a while ago, but it's fantastic when it comes to dynamic res. But that's a Source Engine game, so I don't know if that counts. And I'm maybe forgetting another one. There's a few, but it's usually the exception. The dynamic res works well on PC at least. On consoles, it always works well. 99% of the time, dynamic res works well on consoles.
Move, you.
Back off!
Oopsie.
That's that.
Final Fantasy 16, yeah, I had to use it there. Nix's PC ports have good dynamic res, except in Spider-Man 2, but Spider-Man 2 is a bad PC port in general.
You like sweets, don't
But
you?
yeah, Nix's does a good job with that as well. Good point.
Not like I'm the only one.
Kicks in too late, so will notice a frame drop. Yeah, that's a big problem.
But gotta go with brownies. And if you put some ice cream on top, oh, I'm in heaven. Maybe add a little whipped cream.
Yeah, as soon as you go through the door, that's when it drops.
Hungry.
But it's pretty good.
Try some too.
So far, the CD was when it dropped into the 30s, mid to upper 30s, because of CPU limitation. And well, you're sacrificing shadows in some areas, but again, it doesn't look bad. And it works, it's very responsive. It's pretty surprising. If you set everything to lowest setting, you can play native 800p and lock mostly stable 40s. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's give it a shot. Why not? I recorded everything that I needed already. So now it's basically just experimenting. Spider-Man 2, I think the problem... Oh well, a lot of CPU usage. Yeah, it was a mess. Although many broken textures, it was pretty messy. Oh wait, before I do that, let me try frame gen. Hopefully it doesn't crash. And I'll disable the FPS limit. Okay. Plus in-game frame gen. We don't have a lot of memory, so this is kind of scary to do. But I have to try it. You guys always ask for it. But they said Spider-Man 2 is verified. It runs so bad on Steam Deck. That's another game that shouldn't be verified. You're swinging around and then it stops for a few milliseconds.
No, but
Okay, I feel the input latency, but it ain't that bad. Let's get back to the city. Have you seen the hand on shoulder meme? That's what verified means on Steam Deck. I haven't. But I understand the meme, the guy looking at him like... Yeah. That's hilarious. While I was waiting for the ROG Ally X price to drop, everything went crazy. Damn it. Yeah. It's been crazy. Okay, even with frame gen, we're into the 50s. So technically we're getting 26 FPS. It looks smoother, but as usual... Oh, hold up. I actually got a manual GPU clock of maybe 1200, 1300. No, 1200 should be good. So frame gen is not that unstable. It's going to drop anyway due to CPU limitation. The fact that you can play Baldur's Gate 3 on handheld is crazy, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of games that I cannot believe I can play on the go. MGS5 on the Steam Deck at 60 frames. I played that on the freaking PlayStation 3 when it came out. Not the entire game, I couldn't afford it. But I did notice. But just think about it, that game that ran at sub 30 on PlayStation 3 still looked pretty good. I can play it at PS4 quality on my hands. It's been quite a few years, but still. There's a mod that allows you to disable film grain. Okay, I imagine so. And lower shadow quality even more. Pragmatic graphics enhancement. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Yeah, what I want to remove is the black bars, actually. But the film grain is distracting AF. Oops. So with FrameGen, it does work. The input latency isn't that bad. You can notice, personally I'd rather play at 30 frames, but I can still land those shots and dodge. Yep, perfect dodge. Of course you're kicking your Steam Deck's ass more often, but that's basically it.
Be careful! OBSBOT protocol activate.
We're waiting for Jedi 3. Let's see if EA allows Respawn to actually optimize the game this time. We'll see about that. They made it work on PS4 though, Jedi Survivor. That blew my freaking mind. Shoot him in the ass. The shadows in this game are blurred so much that it adds almost a film grain effect to everything. Okay. Interesting. Perfect dodge. Ooh. So yeah, with FrameGen, it also works. It's okay. If you play the entire game using FrameGen from the beginning, maybe you can get used to the inputs being a bit delayed. But the aim assist is pretty generous. Elden Ring is great on deck. Yeah. I played that at 30, despite most people claiming it runs at 40. It wasn't 100% consistent, so I locked it lower. But you have two options for FrameGen, either in-game or lossless scaling. In this case, I'll keep it in-game because you don't have to mess with anything outside of the game. Hold up. I have some messages. Oh, never mind. Let's see. So let me disable FrameGen. Personally, I'm not a fan. It's bothering me. Canelita. And here's the dog that I have in this house with me. She's called Canela. Which, what was it in English? Canela in English? Yeah. Cinnamon. She's called Cinnamon. So yeah, I left Max at the house. So cute. Yeah. Will you be getting a code for 007? I don't know. Maybe, but probably not, like you would say. I'll explain you why. What I do not like about some companies, I mean, it's okay, it's their choice, is that in order to get a key, they don't care about your numbers. They just want you to promote the game and watch every trailer, earn points, and with those points, they give you a chance to get the game. So you basically have to farm content for them. And that's okay, it's fine, whatever. But it's like they're not giving it due to the exposure of your channel. It's how much loyalty you show to them. Although if it's a big channel, I'm pretty sure they are not going to ask them to do that. So in those cases, I just ignore it. It's like in Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye, those people said, okay, in order to get a key, you have to react to the gameplay trailer, but do not compare the game with GTA or any other big game. And I'm like, what? I cannot criticize the game. So with 007, I don't know. Hopefully yes, but probably no. I don't know, I don't like that. It's not because I feel entitled to a copy. It's just that the other companies don't do that. They just tell you, okay, I give you the game, you make content, and that's it. They probably make more money giving you the key than with the exposure you give them than anything else. So it's their choice.
Careful.
But with Mindset, it was horrible. I didn't accept those terms. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'll play your game later, maybe. And then, 5 months later, they offered me a key. I have it, I haven't played it yet. So now I have Mind's Eye in my library, and I have to make a video soon. Because they released something. Yeah, they said that. I cannot show it to you because, well, if you show that, they basically get angry at you. But that's basically what they said. So now I have a code of the game. So at the end of the day, it ended up hurting their reputation. So again, the IO Interactive thing, I'm not mad at them. It's just that in the 007 thing, you basically have to compete with other content creators to get a code by making content about the game. So at that point, they kind of force you to be positive because they give you points for your content. Not how much you make, how much content, but for a mix of metrics and what you say about the game. That's disingenuous. It's funny how you made it sound like the code is a burden. It's a burden. I should have technically made that video in December, but I forgot. And the deadline was January 20th. And I forgot, so technically I lost points in the platform that gave me the code. I lost some reputation because I didn't make content. So I have to do it later. It's fine. I just forgot about it. So it was a burden because I accepted it without thinking. I was like, oh yeah, finally I can try it. So yeah. But I do basically as many games as I can. So it's not a big deal. I have a lot of content. GTA is too overhyped? Maybe. I think it will be a big deal. Companies wanting you to perform a ritual nowadays to get a code. Yeah, I mean, the thing is there's a lot more content creators nowadays. So they actually can grab people that are desperate to get something for free to make content because their trailers are freely accessible. So they're just taking advantage of that. It's kind of sad. But on my side, it's okay. If I don't get a code, I'll just buy the game. I can deal with it. It's not a big deal. If I get a code, great, I save some money. But it's not the end of the world. I mean, if we're talking about GTA, obviously, I'll buy it right away, but still. You are comparing it with Hitman. Bond cannot even compete with our favorite Agent 47. 47, your main target is getting away. I mean, if you look at the 007 game, it's basically Hitman with Nathan Drake in it. Which I'm not mad about, but I recognize a lot of animations and environments and assets. When I heard that they were making a 007 game, I was super excited. And still am. They're great. After making Hitman, I'm like, this is a secret agent game without the brand. So when they said IO Interactive is making it, awesome. I want it. 47 can't run though. The best he can is jog. He doesn't need to run. He'll find you anyway. He'll kill you twice before you hit the floor. How accessible is Xbox in your country? I mean, Series X, basically gone. Series S is still arriving, but nobody buys that anymore. You can find a lot of Xboxes very cheap on Marketplace because people are no longer, since Game Pass increased in price, Xboxes have been super cheap in Marketplace, the Series S. So yeah, you ever play Hitman Words of Assassination? Yeah, it's amazing. I have 24 gameplay hours in Sapienza, my favorite map in the game. But regarding Pragmata, because I have to eat dinner, the game works way better than I expected. It has those stutters when you're traversing, which are annoying, but generally you're within a smaller radius when fighting the enemies. It's not like I'm running around shooting everything. But it's clearly memory limitation. We have 10 gigs of RAM being assigned to system, 5.2 gigs assigned to VRAM, and we're basically at the absolute limit. But combat feels good, other than the traversal stutters, it's okay. Default settings, I'll just add FSR 3 instead of FSR 1. And the main issue is being memory limited when moving around, and we're CPU limited in the city, so we drop into the mid-30s when targeting the 40 FPS range. But if you want to play native, you can do it at 30 frames, which is fantastic. It looks amazing, considering it's a Steam Deck. But yeah, that's about it. Would I recommend Pragmata on Steam Deck? Definitely. Verified badge? Yeah, I mean, you can get close to 40 with upscaling, and you can play at native at 30. So yeah, that's it for now. I gotta go. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. This will be a video, so you'll probably see me again there. Bye guys. Thanks for watching, and welcome to my new home. Myself and to you guys. I now have a standing desk, so I can stand up, and it goes with me. I can work standing up. And here I am. So anyway, see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend. And good Labor Day. That's why I said weekend. See you guys. Room tour.